jittery, on edge, nervous, and jumpy can get old real fast. I'm going to show you just a few quick and easy techniques to help you soothe that physical anxiety and help you get through those tough times. Hi, I'm Dr. Noelle Hunter, psychologist and clinical director at Mind Clear Integrative Psychotherapy. Physical anxiety, whether resulting from current stressors, ongoing fears, or unresolved trauma, can wreak havoc on your day-to-day life. Healing and reducing the overall stress state requires a lot of different things, like regular exercise, good nutrition, therapy, and meaningful relationships and hobbies that all kind of target the many layers that are underlying your anxiety. Why don't you check out some of our other videos and articles on things like the science behind physical stress, some guided relaxation exercises, and mindfulness skills. This video is a guide to some simple techniques that you can use pretty much anywhere, anytime, to help ease some of that edginess and to help you focus. Obviously, this is not a cure-all for your overall anxiety, but engaging the five senses is one of the quickest ways to help refocus your brain and to ease that physical stress so that it doesn't get the best of you. Right now, I'm going to focus on the sensation of touch. Sometimes when you're just feeling super jittery and you have all of this energy and can't quite sit still, that energy just needs somewhere to go. That's where fidget toys can really come into play. This here, regular old fidget spinner. I don't know why schools took this away from kids. It helps people to focus. In any case, fidget spinner is this thing cost me like $1 at the corner store. Koosh ball. This is one of my favorites. It's just this weird rubber sensation that just you could sort of play it around with it, you could shake it a little bit. It's just something fun to kind of play around with. And this is a weird little thing that's got little balls inside of it. The balls can't ever go anywhere. You can't really break this, so if you're really tense and you kind of get a little bit aggressive with stuff and it tends to break, this is like impossible to break. This actually is my favorite. I don't know why. It just sort of, probably if you're sitting in a meeting, you're not going to be spinning around something like this. But if you're sitting at home and you're on Zoom and you have it down here, can you tell I'm doing it? Any of these things is a lot less annoying than sitting there clicking a pen, which how many people do this on a regular basis, right? Oftentimes when we're feeling stressed out, we need more than just a place for our excess energy to go. We actually need to be able to soothe ourselves. When I'm talking about soothing, I'm meaning something that is really on the physical level, quite soothing, not avoiding. So think about things that are soothing to a small baby or a pet. Sometimes petting a pet can be quite soothing, i.e., when we're talking about touch, being able to touch really soft things usually kind of hits us on a visceral level and tells us that we're safe and that it's okay to calm down. So I have these gloves that have the softest, it's so soft. There's also these soothing rocks, or stones maybe. It's not quite a rock like you would find in your backyard, but it just sort of touching the very smooth edges. The one caveat to this is that some of you might find that when you touch something like a soft blanket or like these wonderful gloves or maybe a soft hat or scarf. A scarf can be a real easy way to be able to just sort of touch something soft and not bring any attention to yourself. But you might find that in doing so, it actually gives you the opposite of a calming response. You might find that you're repulsed or disgusted or even almost afraid. This is actually a pretty common response for people who have experienced sexual or physical assault or have a lot of emotional or physical neglect in their background, where touch then becomes associated with danger. If that's the case, if you've had any of those experiences, or even if you haven't and just your immediate response is to be repulsed in some kind of way, then guess what? This isn't the technique for you, and that's okay. Because another object that can be surprisingly helpful when it comes to trying to ease some of that jitteriness and excess anxiety is a simple ball. A happy face. Or I have this basketball here that I often use with clients. And we all know, of course, that you can squeeze a ball and that stress balls exist out there. This happy face little guy probably is and called a stress ball, where you can squeeze it and that gives something to do. But what can actually be even more helpful is to toss the ball back and forth. This motion right here of having to actually catch the ball, what it does is it kind of tricks your brain. Your brain is unable to ruminate, it's unable to think about all the terrible things that might happen next. It's unable to sit there and judge yourself and question everything that you're saying and doing, because it's too busy trying to focus on catch the ball, catch the ball, catch the ball, catch the ball. And so you find that you might actually be able to engage in conversation or engage in whatever it is that you're doing, if you're not needing your hands for it, in a very different, more authentic kind of way. So sometimes I do use this ball with clients if they're feeling really shut down or really inhibited, and just playing a little round of catch together can be surprisingly freeing. One thing that requires no equipment whatsoever is standing on one foot. Now this may seem really silly and totally bonkers, and it probably is in some ways, but similar to throwing the ball, standing on one foot really takes a lot of energy from your brain, so you don't have time to be ruminating and judging and all of those things. A lot of different times that you can find to just lift one foot up, see what happens. Honestly, some of my favorites are this little mini slinky. Maybe it's because I'm an 80s child, I don't know. But something about this motion thrills me to no end. Better yet, I have this like really weird sand. This is sand. Don't really know what it's made out of, and it certainly isn't sand from the beach. Obviously, neither of these objects am I going to pull out in front of other people without causing some kind of a scene, but you know what? I like them, and that's all that matters. These are all just a few options to help you ease that physical anxiety in the moment when you really need to focus and or not feel so overwhelmed. There are, of course, countless other toys, household objects, clothes, or body positions that you might find speak better to you. I mean, the options really are endless. You just have to use your imagination and think what will really speak to the most primal and basic parts of yourself in a soothing and very simple way. And that's kind of the point. You gotta find what works for you and just build yourself a tool chest full of things that you can pull out at any given moment, because sometimes things might work in one moment and not the next, and vice versa. At the end of the day, it really is what works best for you and what speaks to you. Now, these tools, these toys, these objects are certainly not the answer to everything, nor will they solve the underlying problem, but they certainly don't hurt, and they're even fun. So, have fun, don't judge yourself, and do what's right for you.